I found this table at a garage sale. I paid $15 for it and took it home for some repair and refinishing. It was probably made in the 1950s or 60s. It has 3 stone inserts on the top. One of them has a broken corner. This joint here has separated. It's got lots of gunk on it. Before I did any work to the piece, I removed these inserts, and I was able to just lift them out. I also removed the legs, which were just held on by some wing nuts. This would make it easier to work on the piece. I then went to work on this corner that had separated. And here you can just barely see the dowel in between those 2 pieces that is supposed to be holding them together. So I needed to open up that joint so I could re-glue it. To do this, I took a couple of chisels and used those to try to push open the joint. And that worked up to a point, but then it felt like it wouldn't open up any farther. And I realized that this apron was screwed to the top on both sides, and that was keeping the top from expanding any farther. So I had to take that apron off, which was just a matter of removing a few screws. And then it came right off. Once that was off, I was able to open up the joint further. And that's when I could see that the dowel that was in there had actually broken. So it split in 2. But it broke in such a way that I could glue it back together instead of trying to get a whole new dowel in there. If I was to remove the old dowel and put a new one in there, that would mean I'd have to open up at least one other joint on the top. And the rest of the joints are all solid, so it didn't seem worth it to me to risk doing more damage by trying to get those other joints apart. So just gluing this broken dowel back together seemed like the better option. Next, I worked on repairing the broken stone insert. The first thing I did was to glue this corner piece back on, and to do this I used some 5-minute epoxy. I just put some tape along the crack to try to keep any excess epoxy from getting on the surface. And then I applied some epoxy. I didn't need to use a clamp on this because the insert fit in there tightly enough that it kept the 2 pieces together while the epoxy dried. Once the epoxy had dried, then I had to address the corner of that corner piece that I just glued on. There was a big chip in it, so the very outer point of the corner was missing. And to rebuild that, I used some epoxy wood putty, and this is the underside of the insert. I started with it upside down. And the color of this putty actually ended up being a pretty good match. So once it dried, I didn't have to color it. It blended in pretty well. And then I was just left with this crack that was still visible on the top. This is where I had epoxied the chunk back on. So to try and disguise this crack a bit, I used a hard fill wax stick from Mohawk. And I just melted some wax into the crack. That tool I'm using is something that Mohawk sells, but you could probably just use a soldering iron or maybe even a match. Just want to drip it into the crack. And once the wax solidifies, then I just removed the excess that was sitting on the top, being careful not to scratch the stone. You could also use a piece of plastic for this if you're worried about scratching the surface. These sticks come in many colors, and I had a few colors on hand, but this was the one that looked like it would blend in the best. And it did blend in really well. Next, I had to address the finish. The first thing I did was just to clean it off. It was hard to tell what kind of condition it was in with all the gunk on it. At first, I thought that I might be able to save the original finish, and it does look pretty decent here on camera. But if you take a closer look, there are areas like this spot here where there are dark streaks in the finish, and they might actually be below the finish. It's hard to tell. But it looks like maybe some moisture somehow got under the finish and left some stains. And there are a lot of spots like this, mostly along the front edge of the table. And I also just wasn't crazy about the look of the finish in general. It was okay in some spots, but some areas had kind of a weird greenish tint to it. So taking all of this into account, I decided just to remove the old finish and start over again from scratch. To remove the finish, I started with a scraper, and this took off the lacquer pretty easily. Once the lacquer was off, I could see that there was still a layer of something on there. It was probably a stain or a dark glaze, maybe. So to take this off, I just used a sander. And I was very careful on the curved edges not to flatten those curves. It's easy to do that with an orbital sander, so you have to be really careful not to apply too much pressure and to keep it moving. I started with 120 grit sandpaper on the orbital sander and then went up to 150 with the sander, and then I finished with 180 grit sandpaper by hand. And I did it by hand because I wanted to make sure if there were any swirl marks left by the sander, I would get those out by hand sanding. When you're hand sanding a piece like this, where you have joints where the grain changes direction, it can be helpful to put a piece of tape over that joint so you don't accidentally sand past that line, which would leave a cross-grain scratch on the other piece. With all that finish removed, you can see how light the wood actually is. I'm pretty sure this is elm. Overall, the wood was in great shape, but there were some spots on the front, I think right around where those dark streaks were in the finish, where there were some grayish dark stains in the wood. It's hard to see on camera, but they were there. I wasn't sure what caused these, but I decided to try some oxalic acid to see if that would clear them up. Oxalic acid is really good at removing dark stains caused by water sitting on the wood. Not sure if that's what caused these, but it was worth a try. And I applied the oxalic acid over the entire top. Once the oxalic acid had dried, it did look like the stains had lightened. I could still see them a little bit, but they looked less gray and more like a light brown spot that blended in more with the wood around it. At this point, it was time for me to decide what kind of finish I wanted to put on the piece. And after doing all that work to remove that dark finish and revealing this very attractive light wood underneath, I had a hard time bringing myself to put another dark finish on it that would hide this nice clean wood that I had uncovered. So I decided to just go with a clear finish and no stain. And the finish I went with was just a clear spray lacquer. I used an aerosol can for this. Here you can see I have that fake drawer front taped up because at this point I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that. I ended up not stripping the original finish off because it looked like those strips of wood in there were not elm and were possibly walnut. So if I took the original finish off, they probably still would have been darker than the rest of the piece. And it also would have been a very tedious process to try to scrape all the finish off those little pieces. Before I put the last coats of lacquer on, I wanted to touch up a few spots on the front. The wood had some small, kind of reddish brown streaks in it. I'm not sure if that was natural or if there were some kind of stains, but they stood out a little too much for me, so I wanted to blend them in a bit. To do this, I just mixed some clear nail polish with some pigment and just brushed a little bit on those spots. I didn't need to cover them completely, just enough so that they didn't draw your eye's attention as much. Once that was dry, I put final coats of clear lacquer over the entire piece. Once the lacquer was dry, I buffed it out a bit with some fine steel wool and wax. After applying the wax, I put the stone pieces back in, and I didn't really like the way it looked. With that dark basket weave on the front and the white top and the lighter color of the rest of the wood, there were too many colors going on. So I decided that the fake drawer front had to go. I took the top and the legs off again so that I could easily work on it. The basket weave just sits on the surface of the board on the front, and the vertical pieces on the sides are actually inset a little bit into the front. And the horizontal piece on the bottom is just sitting on top, like the basket weave. It was just glued on, so I took a putty knife and just took it off as carefully as I could. And I also removed the horizontal piece on the bottom. I didn't want to remove the vertical pieces because they were inset and it would have left an indentation in the wood. So instead of removing them, I just sanded them down so that they were flush with the front. And there's no veneer on here, so I didn't have to worry about sanding through veneer. Once it was all cleaned up, I was still left with the two screw holes from the drawer pull for the fake drawer. So to fill those, I used some of the wax that I had used previously on the stone top. And once all that was done, then I reapplied the lacquer. And here it is, all finished. This is the back side, and I think this is actually my favorite view. This is the front, and this looks good too. Thanks for watching.